For me and others, it is truly a place of healing. And so it's so perfectly named Serenity Farm because it is a place of serenity.
Bernie Fowler Jr. is the son of a state senator, a former cop, contractor, and now a farmer.
When I arrived at the farm, I could tell that it was in just as much despair and distress as my own personal life.
His oldest daughter, Lauren, is a recovering heroin addict.
Wherever you're at in life, this farm is built to help you grow in a positive way.
Linda Canfield is a cancer patient who's about to lose her home.
And I don't know where I'm gonna go. And I don't care because my faith is so strong and God will lead me. But I don't feel like I would be at this place if I hadn't been coming to the farm.
Enrico Nelson is serving a 6-year prison sentence for selling drugs.
Home to me, it means home.
In fact, to all of them, as different as they may seem, this place, Serenity Farm in Charles County, is home. The farm is also home to Farming for Hunger, a nonprofit Bernie was inspired to start back in 2012 after a trying time in his personal life. He was facing bankruptcy, divorce, and a daughter with a terrifying heroin addiction.
June of 2009, I actually contemplated suicide. I had gotten that low.
Serenity Farm, a 272-acre historic property steeped in agricultural and American history, was struggling too. Farmer Frank Robinson was having a hard time making ends meet.
Weeds were growing up all over the place. Buildings were starting to fall down.
Today, Farming for Hunger helps provide Serenity Farm financial stability by leasing part of the property.
We raise corn and potatoes and various other vegetables here right on this farm, about 1.2 million pounds a year.
Bernie also coordinates donations from 26 other Southern Maryland farms.
Put the tops on these two, load them in there. We'll get them on the truck and we'll be good.
Altogether, he and his volunteers give out a staggering 2 million pounds of produce to Southern Maryland families each year. They partner with the Maryland Food Bank, but don't rely on it for distribution.
Instead of sending everything to Baltimore to set in the warehouse to wait to be redistributed, we can harvest it daily, fresh, and send it right out to what we call a mobile produce drops.
6,000 pounds of food goes out at each drop, enough, Bernie estimates, to feed as many as 200 families. Getting that much food harvested, sorted, and distributed takes labor, and lots of it. That's why Bernie started bringing inmates from the Maryland Department of Corrections to the farm.
They say catch with your hands, not your chest.
Originally it was for labor. And then all of a sudden a relationship formed. They were no longer a number, they were a name.
I passed this farm every day before I got incarcerated.
That was back when Rico Nelson was selling drugs up and down Charles County.
And now, the farm that I pass every day, I'm working here and changed my life here. So much love here. And that's love and caring. It's something I never had in my life. You feel me, as far as coming up with my parents and stuff like that. It's like I'm a little kid again, all over again, you know what I mean? But now it's like I get that chance to feel what love is.
When Rico's released, there's a job waiting for him here, funded by grant money. But for now, he and the other inmates work side by side with volunteers, students, soccer teams, church groups, and anyone else who wants to come out to help. And many do. Each year, about 6,000 volunteers pass through these fields. Often, they're put to work in this 6-acre plot. Ashley's garden was dedicated 2 years ago after the landowner's granddaughter died of a heroin overdose here on the farm.
We decided at that point in time we needed to do more at this farm. That's when we started life-sharing opportunities. We took incarcerated individuals and we took people in recovery and we brought them together with our volunteers. And they shared about consequences to choices that you make in life.
And a lot of people, young people is dying. A whole lot of them. So it made me open up and share, and hopefully I can give attention to one kid to change his life around.
And if the first-person testimony isn't enough, the farm's wall of no return displays the faces of overdose victims. Remember Bernie's daughter, Lauren? She was addicted to heroin for 7 years. Now she's 2 years sober and a regular at the farm.
This place is kind of like a reminder to me of the serenity and the peace and the sense of like getting someone else out of that dark hole that I was in.
Of course, she was surprised to come across another reminder of her past here, Terrell Furbush. At that time, an inmate busted for dealing in Baltimore, Annapolis, and Southern Maryland.
Like what they was doing out here, giving back to the community and all. And then later I found out that I knew Bernie's daughter.
Bernie and Terrell figured out the connection first.
I realized that he had sold heroin to my daughter. And I can tell you, several years ago, I probably would have wanted to take his life. I was that upset. But where I'm at now and running this nonprofit, if I have to forgive my own child, which I want to do, I need to forgive this individual as well to move forward. And that's what I've done. I've embraced him and given him a second chance as well.
I know I wouldn't have been as forgiving as him. I know, well, where I'm from, there ain't too many people like him. So.
Today, all three of them have a relationship. They call, text, have lunch, and watch out for each other.
If I feel like I'm ready to go backwards, I'll call him. Man, I'm thinking about doing it. No, come down here and see me. We'll just talk about it.
Not many people can say that their dad is friends with their dealer, you know, but he's more than a dealer, just like I'm more than an addict. We're all people.
Working the land, raising food for ourselves and others is essential to our survival. Perhaps there's nowhere that truth is more evident than Serenity Farm.
This farm and Farming for Hunger actually probably saved my life. It means that much to me. It gives me joy every day to come here and to serve others in my community. If you've not been at that place where you're feeling hopeless and helpless, you may not understand what I'm saying, but it shines the light for others that are still in the darkness, and it's pretty amazing.